Hello, I'm Lord Jimsicle, and you're watching You Have Progs, a programme all about the galaxy's greatest comic, 2000 AD. I'm joined by Ant Grant Gordon and Chris to talk about 2000 AD's most popular character. That's drocking right, guys. We are talking about Judge Dredd. Judge Joseph Dredd was created by John Wagner, Pat Mills and Carlos Ezquerra in the late 70s after joining the galaxy's greatest comic, 2000 AD. Originally envisioned as a Dirty Harry knockoff, he evolved through several incarnations, including taking a few cues from Frankenstein in Death Race 2000, before finally making his debut in Prog 2 of 2000 AD, and has remained a staple in the publication ever since. Dredd is one of the street judges, who are law enforcement officers who have the powers of police, judge, jury, and executioner all rolled into one. This means they have the power to sentence criminals on the spot and execute them if necessary. The judges are not to be disobeyed, as their word is absolute, and Dredd is the most feared and respected judge in Mega City 1. The Justice Department overthrew the government after the Third World War in the year 2070, leaving the judges in power as the last vestige of liberty, order and justice in a world which has become enveloped in a fiery post-nuclear apocalyptic hell. It's a bit like Luton, really. You're right, guys. Sorry, I forgot you were from there, mate. The judges patrol mega cities, the most famous of course being Dredd's own stomping ground, Mega City 1, the eastern seaboard of the remnants of the United States. In the aftermath of the Great Nuclear War of 2070, and surrounded by the nuclear wasteland called Luton, the Cursed Earth, Mega Cities 1, 2 and Texas City withstood the damage caused by the war.
We've already established that street judges patrol the mega cities, but what makes Dredd especially fearsome? The only thing that matters to him is the law. In fact, he wouldn't have much trouble telling you that he is the law! His application of the law is so dedicated and pedantic that he more represents the symbol of oppression than a hero. He won't hesitate to dole out a 5-year sentence in a compact prison cell, known as an ISO cube, for something as petty as littering. This is common practice amongst judges, but Judge Dredd is shown to be more extreme.
When the character first made his debut, it was written as a social commentary about Margaret Thatcher's leadership and the fear that Great Britain was sleepwalking itself into a police state, but Wagner was able to get away with such satire by setting the story in the far future.
On a side note, there was a very memorable appearance on Newsnight by Judge Dredd magazine writer Alan Grant, where he was voicing his concern about the future of politics in Great Britain. His concerns that many things that he and other writers have contributed to the Judge Dredd universe have come true in real life, most notably banning smoking in public places.
The most consistent feature about Dredd is that you never see the character's face. This is due to it always being covered by a helmet. The creator has said many times, it sums up the facelessness of justice. Justice has no soul, so it isn't necessary for readers to see Dredd's face. And I don't want you to. Naturally, being a force of law and order in Mega City 1, judges are equipped with some of the most formidable weaponry. Among equipment such as knives, gas and stun grenades, judges are also equipped with the following. Lawgiver, a judge's primary weapon which is capable of discharging several types of rounds by voice activation. Such rounds include standard execution, ricochet, heat seeker, incendiary, armor piercing, or highly explosive, also known as High X. If you're not a judge, I wouldn't recommend picking up a Lawgiver because it's programmed to recognize only a judge's hand. And if it doesn't recognize you, bye-bye hand. Lawmaster, a judge's motorcycle armed to the teeth and designed to outrun any civilian vehicle. Sadly, this doesn't have the same safety feature as the Lawgiver pistol, so it just won't move if you don't know the code. Daystick doesn't really need explaining, although despite the name, they never seem to have much trouble using them at night. The Justice Department does not just consist of street judges, there are other divisions that help the fight for justice. There is the Side Division, which consists of judges with psychic powers, and the Wally Squad, which is a division of judges who are so deep undercover, they're confined to the slums of Mega City 1 and rarely interact with regular street judges.
The stories of the Dredd universe are told in real time, which means 35 years has passed in publication as well as in Mega City 1. Dredd is now well into his 70s by this point and still kicking ass on the streets. Despite old Stonyface being still as hard as nails, he won't be around forever, and many of us are interested to see how they'll get around this when he finally does kick the bucket. Dredd got so immensely popular that he was even awarded his own publication, the Judge Dredd magazine, which had several strips told in the world of Dredd. Said strips contain stories told from Psy Division, the Wally Squad, and other megacities as well, such as Hondo City, which is based in Japan, the Emerald Isle, which is based in Ireland, Britsit, which is Great Britain, and of course, the East Meg cities, which are based in Russia. Although, since then, many of these strips have found their way back into the pages of 2000 AD, most recently Cadet Anderson, which is a fantastic strip that chronicled Judge Anderson's life as a cadet in Mega City 1.
Judge Dredd's stories are written in two perspectives. One, from the perspective of the Justice Department, showing the judges battling a vast threat to Mega City 1, in which the reader would find themselves rooting for Dredd. This is shown in stories such as The Apocalypse War, or The Day the Lord Died, and Necropolis. The other perspective, however, is of the viewpoint of the citizens of Mega City 1 being horribly oppressed by the judges for small matters, often done in a humorous tone. With the exception of the critically acclaimed story America, most stories told from the viewpoint of a citizen of Mega City 1 are told in short stories, usually in 1 or 2 progs. I'm quite fond of the latter viewpoint as it keeps the stories fresh and intriguing, whilst highlighting the fact that Mega City 1 is not such a nice place to live. The best thing about Dredd and 2000 AD in general is that no matter where you start, it's always easy to get into and consistently good.
John Wagner has written the majority of the Dredd stories since his debut, occasionally handing over to other writers, which means the tone is consistent throughout. Though if one Dredd story weekly isn't enough for you, then I'd recommend getting the monthly Judge Dredd magazine. If you feel like doing a bit of background reading into Mega City 1 before you pick up a Prog or a Meg, then there's never been a better time than to get into Dredd.
Oh, do you remember all those graphic novels we were talking about last video? By Rebellion? Well, they haven't made Dredd so big anymore. Because now he comes pocket size. That's right, ladies and germs. Dredd fits in your pocket. So far they've done the Cursed Earth Saga and The Day the Lord Died. Coming soon, The Dark Judges.
If you want to start from the very beginning, you can pick up the Judge Dredd case files, which charts the progress from Progs 2 to 60.
IDW has struck up a deal with 2000 AD to feature the character in a new monthly title starting this November as part of a plan to reintroduce Dredd to an American audience.
Dredd has also been adapted in other mediums of entertainment as well.
A Hollywood movie was made back in 1995 with the title character being played by Sylvester Stallone, but was memorable for all the wrong reasons. Visually, it was fantastic, but suffered from a terrible script, and the fact that Dredd spends most of the movie without his helmet on is a spit in the face of the fans of the character. However,
a new Judge Dredd film is arriving in UK cinemas this Friday, which is September the 7th, 2012, and a US release on the 21st of September. Carl Urban will be portraying Dredd, and he himself has stated that the audience will not see Dredd without his helmet, and it will be a non-stop, ultra-violent rendition of the claustrophobic setting of Mega City 1 that we're so used to in the pages of 2000 AD. Thank you for watching this episode of You Have Progs, especially about a character that we all completely adore so much. Stay tuned for more, and also check out our sister show, You Have Issues.